detected now in the last few days by several countries, but that also includes serious university researchers here in the U.S. You know, I got to tell you, too, I got a call from my dad in California Monday night, and he's like, what is up with the O'Hare UFOs? I'm like, where did you see that? Where did you read that? Well, it was on Fox Network's Crawl at the bottom. It's just amazing how much this is garnering.
Yeah, it really is, and worldwide attention, as you say, and from people who have observed, made observations themselves, including on November 7th, the date of this incident, additional people both at O'Hare and outside the airport who have either seen this gray disc-shaped metallic object themselves or they saw that huge hole in the sky that the object created when it vanished.
Let's go over that one more time. What did people see when it all of a sudden vanished right through the clouds over the United Terminal? And then how's the FAA been reacting the past few days, too? Any new ground on that?
Okay. Well, the object was hovering in a stationary position about 1,500 feet above the United Terminal for some minutes. And then when it left, it just burst through this thick cloud layer, creating a large open space of blue sky on an otherwise overcast day. It took some minutes for that opening to close up when the clouds drifted back together. And it's just extremely unusual, according to the witnesses. I mean, airplanes just don't react like this. They slice through clouds, and they really don't disturb the atmosphere that much, except for the wingtips and such. The FAA is still, pinning this to some kind of weather phenomenon, that some lights from the airport and the overcast skies somehow got together and created this image. But weather experts, astronomy experts, others that I've talked to said that that's bunk. That explanation just doesn't wash. United, on the other hand, after first denying that they got any reports from employees about this sighting, is now saying, yes, indeed, their employees did approach them immediately because of concerns about safety.
And to reiterate, John, the witnesses who originally came to you are all seasoned, professional, credible professionals like pilots who saw this.
They're pilots, they're senior managers, they're mechanics, and others. So, they are very truthful about what they're saying, and we're trying to locate photographs, if they do exist, of this incident.
Well, John, we know you have plenty of other interviews to do today with other countries, so we'll let you go and we'll keep our eyes to the sky. Thanks.
Thank you, Jim.
And the conversation still rolls as it rolls to black.
Isn't it amazing what really garners people's...
Yeah.
For various reasons, I suppose, Yeah. How cool.
Yeah, no,
I can't wait to see in a week where this stands,
Yeah. And I'm just amazed I'm still getting requests for interviews because...
Yeah.
Now, wasn't that insightful?
Cool.
Okay,
thanks, John.
Thanks, Jim.
Okay.
Can we run the second part, please?
Flights come to Chicago's O'Hare
This is from
Airport
CNN.
all over the world. But do they come from other worlds?
You don't believe this was possibly your imagination?
It was definitely not my imagination.
Joe is a mechanic for United Airlines. While taxiing a jumbo jet to the hangar, he and another mechanic
Looked out the window in the general direction and noticed an object up in the sky, dark gray object sitting above the terminal complex.
Joe, which is not his real name, is one of several airport workers, some of whom have talked to the Chicago Tribune, who say they saw a saucer-shaped UFO hovering just beneath the clouds at the airport. He's the first to go on camera to talk about it since this happened several weeks ago. He wants to remain anonymous.
But you're sure it was some kind of object that normally would not be above O'Hare Airport?
I've been at O'Hare for quite some time, and let's just say that I've never seen an object in my time there that looked like this. And I'll tell you, definitely, it was not an airplane as we know it.
But it could be an airplane as another world knows it.
Possibly.
We brought in one of Chicago's top sketch artists
Followed the contours of the object.
to listen to Joe and draw a picture of what he says he saw.
More of like an oval, dark gray oval.
Because no photos have surfaced, and Joe doesn't know of any.
Now, it didn't say Goodyear on it, did it?
No Goodyear, no. That's a really good drawing.
Is that what it looks like?
Very much so, yeah.
Other witnesses told an organization called the...
Now, there is the object that most people who have seen this footage say was the object. This was a cell picture. I don't know how much darker they can get that. It's up in, let me point it out. It's right up there. See it? That's the object. And this was actually sent anonymously to Above Top Secret, which is a very good website and blog. The thread on this was I don't know how many pages. And in fact, my witness that came forward that is also, you'll see, included in the NARCAP report. And NARCAP was actually fielded this case. The reason why, of course, is Richard Haynes is known for dealing with aviation personnel. So this was really important that this was fielded to him. I was able to do some work, interview this individual, and strangely enough, my format is changed because I was actually supposed to come here today with 2 sets of footage that never materialized. Up until the last moment, I was guaranteed I was going to have them. I'd like to progress now, if we can, to a interview that we did with Fox in and about this time that I think took on an entirely different tone from these, and I'd like your interpretation of it or your opinion thereafter. Can we move to the next segment on this? Is it possible? I'm crossing my fingers. I'm getting nowheres. Okay. There is another segment, a Fox piece, but evidently we have some technical difficulties. Is this right? Somebody tapped me in the back of the head or send me a pigeon with a letter. Okay. Anyways, we'll give you some information about the O'Hare case and where it finally ended up. The final report, which is 155 pages, you can actually see that and download it at narcap.org. narcap.org, and when you go there, go to the left-hand side of the page and it'll say the O'Hare Report. It was posted August 27th. In there, you'll see the compiled information from FOIA requests, which actually were fulfilled, but they did not come in simultaneously, but trickled in a little bit at a time. Interesting, in that request was also some some radar footage, about 14 minutes that are missing and would have been pretty important, but didn't happen. And here we go back to this piece.
To the west, off I-88, this man snapped a photo of it as he drove to his home in Westmont.
It kind of looked like you took a building and knocked it over and it was flying around.
And to the south, in Tinley Park,
I got it on tape! I got it!
It has perplexed TJ Japcon.
And so I turned around and I looked up and I'm like, no way. I'm like, no way.
For nearly 6 years.
They're back.
But never fear, inside this Orland Park apartment, Sam Maranto is on the case.
Did you see that? Right here. There.
How do you
Maranto
like
is
that?
the Illinois director.
I look like a
of the
troll. They
Mutual
put this thing right
UFO
next to my
Network.
head.
It doesn't take
My
much
cat bit
to
my hand the day
realize
before. They're
that there's
showing the
something
holes in my
truly
hand like I'm some
substantial
sort of
and
drug
genuine
addict or
with this
something.
Maranto
Come
has been
on.
especially busy ever since a UFO was spotted over O'Hare last November. He's been interviewing reluctant witnesses who won't go public with their accounts.
These are not crackpots.
Still, he admits most, if not all, of the photos of the UFO that have since surfaced on the internet probably aren't legitimate.
Absolutely insane.
But back to this.
I've gone through this probably about 10 times.
Hours of home video from various South Suburbanites.
There's airplanes along with them. Look at that.
All shooting the same hovering light configuration as TJ Japcon back in 2001.
Perfect.
2004, he goofed
That's
up.
when you're like, wow, what is this thing?
Ken and Sherry Gunaka saw it in Oak Forest.
Not a single sound.
No noise at all.
Is it above top secret, reverse engineered technology? Possibly.
That's a hoax. It's a hoax being perpetrated on people.
Astronomer Mark Hammergren believes these lights are nothing more than
flares suspended below weather balloons. Nobody wants to say to people that there's no Santa Claus.
Hammergren also has bad news for Linda Von Henke and her family.
Waiting for it to either come on down or take me on up or whatever it wants to do. It's breathtaking.
This is the planet Venus.
Then there's this guy.
They told me I'm nuts.
Asking to remain anonymous, even though he too insists what he saw was a UFO.
Do you know any big, giant, square, rectangular-looking blimps that move like with the speed of a fighter plane?
Humans make extraordinarily poor witnesses. They misperceive
Did you hear
things.
that?
But some people, like Chicagoan Mike Ernst, refuse to back down.
Here is this craft, this UFO.
His sighting was at O'Hare as well, 6 years ago.